Fusco. Kamer. Connor.
Here.
Bailey. Lombardo.
Thank you. We just have a few things on the agenda. I'd like to ask for time on most of the stuff on the consent. No, I have to make a motion to do the consent stuff, or no?
No, you can just take time on the regular agenda.
Time on the regular agenda, I'm sorry, and we'll go into new legislation. Could you read the new stuff for me, please?
Item number 0, ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service or his designee to enter into an amended and restated lease agreement with Aero Flyers Incorporated for the continued lease of the Hangar A building along with additional adjacent land at the Akron Fulton Airport and declaring an emergency.
Is someone here to speak on that?
Thank you, Madam Chairman, members of the committee. This lease with Aero Flyers Incorporated is an extension of their existing lease. So we're going to extend this out for 20 years, and they will have the option to add on. They've been getting more and more members. This is like a flight club that different people, they keep their planes there. So this is right next to the FBO. It's the first hangar right next to the flight-based operation. So they've been an asset to the airport, and we've worked with them, and planning's worked with them. So this is basically just an extension of their lease.
Are there any questions from committee members? Any questions from the council? Councilman Mallon.
Mr. Little, what is the value of the lease?
The new rate is going to be the 32 cents a square foot. That is the fixed rate out there now.
Okay, what is the total of that per year?
I think it's in here, but I don't. Part of it depends on if they actually exercise the addition or not. But I don't think that's specifically calculated in here. I can try to get you a specific answer to that.
And how does the rate compare to the current rate?
It's higher.
Okay.
I think I want to say it's currently about 28 cents a square foot.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bowman.
I'll get you both those answers.
Any additional questions? Seeing and hearing none.
Consent's fine.
May I have a motion to place this on the consent agenda?
Make a motion to post it on the consent agenda.
I didn't hear him. I didn't hear you. Sorry.
Make a motion for a consent agenda.
Is there a second, please?
Second.
This item will go on the consent agenda.
Thank you.
Item ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to accept title and ownership of real property located at 982 South Broadway Street, Akron, Ohio 44311, and declaring an emergency.
Hi, good afternoon, Madam Chair, committee members. My name is Glenn Moretz, Akron Engineering Bureau. I handle the real estate for the city, for those who aren't familiar with me. This particular property, it was a remnant land from the main Broadway project. The owners have no use for it. They would like to donate it to us. We would ask for consent agenda. I'm here if you have any questions.
Any questions from committee members? Any questions from council members? Seeing and hearing none, consent is fine. No, may I have a motion for consent agenda?
Motion for consent.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
This motion will go on the consent agenda.
Thank you very much.
So sorry about that. Councilman Lombardo is not on the Planning and Economic Development Committee. That would be Councilwoman Samples. I'm very sorry about this. Can we redo those votes?
Sure.
Thank you. Item number 0, Was there a motion for consent?
Yes.
Can someone make that motion?
Motion for consent.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And item number 1, can I have a motion for consent?
Motion for consent. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay. I should have caught it. Sorry.
I had it right on one sheet and not on another, so I'm sorry, I was looking at an old one, an incorrect one. Ordinance approving the donation of city-owned land on South Main Street to the Development Finance Authority for the Civic Deck at Lock 3 Park, determining said property is not needed for public use and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. I'm Michelle DeFiore with the Office of Integrated Development. This is a sliver of land adjacent to the Civic Theater. You're aware that they built an expansion next to the Civic Theater. This is to allow a deck to also be constructed next to that new addition. So this is a sliver of land that we would want to have them in ownership of. And the designer of this deck space is the same designer as who is doing the Lock 3 improvements, so they will blend nicely together. And we brought that park space to council in May to give an update.
Are there any questions from committee members? Any questions from council?
Ms. DeFiore, looking at the sale or donation, I think it's being acquired by the Development Finance Authority.
That's correct.
And sort of what's the rationale there, and particularly versus, doing a lease or a license or something like that?
Just so that they have permanent control over that deck.
Okay, thank you.
And is consent okay?
Consent is fine.
May I have a motion to put this on the consent agenda?
Motion to consent.
A second, please?
Second.
All those in favor
Aye.
on the consent agenda? Thank you.
Thank you.
Having nothing else, Planning Commission's adjourned. Oh, may I have a motion to adjourn? Don't I have to do it that way? May I have a motion to adjourn the Planning Commission, planning meeting?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. And thank you for your patience.
Our next committee meeting will be the Public Service Committee. Those committee members are Samples, Kamer, Holland, Lombardo, and